Go love your own enemies. Don't be loving mine. My enemies are the theocratic fascists. I don't love them. I want to destroy them.
Child made in the image of God. Oh no, you're not. You're a faggot. And you can't join your church and you can't go to heaven. This is disgraceful. It's inhuman.
Published on August 12, 2014 by Michael Stone. Christians report that Robin Williams is in hell. One more reason I can add to my list as to why I loathe Christianity. Robin Williams is spending an eternity in the fires of hell, according to many Christians. The internet is full of blogs, tweets, and comments from the faithful, reporting that the beloved actor and comedian is now suffering an eternity of torment consumed by hell's fire. Oscar-winning actor and comedian Robin Williams was found dead of an apparent suicide in his suburban California home on Monday, according to the Marin County Sheriff's Office. Immediately after news of his death by suicide was announced, Christians began to report Williams was in hell. It's so nice they have special connection from God. Yes. Some samples from what it means to be a Christian. It's with great sadness that I am about to say this. Maybe Robin Williams is in hell. We forget that he blasphemed God, used profane language, and planted dirty jokes in the minds of people. From Jesus saved me from hell. This tragic outcome of Robin Williams' life demonstrated that no matter how talented and influential one is, if they lack a sound spiritual foundation in Jesus Christ, they will perish and end up in eternal hell. While many of the faithful expressed a faux sadness, when reporting the news that Williams must be in hell, others seemed full of glee with the prospect. For example, Creation Science Study has a blog entry up entitled, "Robin Williams is in hell!" The following is an excerpt from that blog. Greetings, true Christians. Did you know that Robin Williams is burning in hell as we speak? That's right, boys and girls. Robin Williams is being tormented by Satan and the demons forever. And of course, the Westboro Baptist Church was happy to announce Williams is in hell. There is something downright creepy about the pleasure many Christians take in the belief that others are burning in hell. What's up with that? Indeed, there is a lengthy thread on Reddit dedicated to the frustration many feel with Christians using social media to claim Williams is in hell. To be sure, not all Christians believe Williams is necessarily spending an eternity in hell, and many blogging Christians and Christian websites are taking care to prevent or remove insensitive and cruel remarks concerning Williams' fate in a supposed afterlife. For example, the following is from conscientious Catholic blogger Mark Shea, writing for Pathos. Robin Williams, rest in peace. He brought joy to a lot of people. May he find in death the peace that he could not find in life through Christ our Lord. And please, if you must, comment prayer only. If you feel a compulsion to make some political commentary or wish him into hell because you've decided God has authorized you to pronounce on his eternal destiny, yes, I'm seeing people do this around the blogosphere. For the love of God, just stow it. It's not just Christians claiming Williams is in hell. Many Muslims are happy to make the same sort of claim. In the end, of course, there is no heaven and there is no hell. Death is final, and that is tragedy enough. There is no afterlife. All we can do now is mourn the loss and celebrate the life. This was an article that I found on Facebook this afternoon. This fills me with such contempt, utter contempt, for Christians or Muslims who have the audacity to not only say this, but the ones who are happy about it, who actually rub their hands with glee at the idea of another human being being tortured forever. Okay, let's evaluate this for a minute. One, you're imagining that your belief system is reality. And you are... First of all, does God talk to you personally? Did God actually send out a memo to everybody? By the way, Robin Williams came up here. I sent him straight to hell. Just thought you all wanted to know. Signed, God. Did you get the memo? Did he fax it to everybody? Really, how do you know? Do you have a special knowledge? Did God whisper it into your ear? Robin Williams is in hell now. And you just know this? Or is it because a book says? How do you know Robin Williams isn't a born-again Christian? Seriously. I hope he isn't. I'd lose some respect for the man if I found out he was. Just a little bit. Because if he was a Christian, he wasn't the kind that shoved it in other people's faces. He was a cool kind of Christian who kept it to himself and let them live their beliefs. He didn't walk around preaching and putting people down. So if he was a Christian, he was a cool Christian. He was the kind of Christian I wish all Christians would be. But you don't know. You don't know his heart. You don't know in the last 2 seconds as he gasped his last breath if he didn't repent and ask Jesus into his heart. You don't know. So saying that he's in hell on so many levels is just ignorant, arrogant, and stupid, not to mention insensitive as hell. No pun intended. To all the people who are grieving and hurting for this man who gave so much to the world, hoping, wishing, anticipating that somebody, just because he didn't do what you think he should do, ooh, he swore, ooh, he said dirty jokes, so he deserves to be tortured forever. Yeah, let's rip his legs and his arms off. Let's skin him alive. Let's put him in a furnace where he burns and burns, but he never actually dies. You want that. You want that for somebody because he swore? Or he told dirty jokes, so you think he deserves to be tortured forever? Or is it because he had an illness and he succumbed to that illness? That's what suicide is. When you have depression, which is an illness, or an addiction, which is also an illness, and you have them combined together, you have something that is the most amazingly toxic, lethal concoction imaginable. Suicide comes from severe depression. But when you mix depression, it's like mixing 2 bad drugs. Depression and addiction together, you have something very, very, very bad. I had a friend whose brother shot himself dead. He had those 2 combined together. One feeds the other. And both can be genetically passed on. Robin Williams was ill. Robin Williams, in a fit of depression, killed himself. People are saying, oh, Robin Williams was a coward because he killed himself. Are you kidding me? The man lived to be 63 years old. And unlike a lot of people, I don't stick my nose into the business of celebrities. I don't read the crap that's out there that you see when you're checking out the grocery store. I don't read that. The tabloids, I don't read that. I saw what they did to Michael Jackson. And it just emphasized to me why I never read the bullshit. I don't read that. I don't pay for that. I don't contribute to that because the media fucking destroys lives. And the tabloids are the worst of all, so I don't read that. So I, unlike maybe a lot of people, I didn't know that Robin Williams had depression. I didn't know that he has been struggling with addiction and depression, that toxic cocktail, for years. I've had depression off and on. I've even had suicidal type depression off and on. I have never had the combination of addiction and that kind of depression. But I can kind of, sort of, imagine it would be like having severe depression on steroids. Not fun. To make it 63 years with that kind of a battle going on, and then on top of that, you have a world that perceives you as the happy comic comedian guy, the guy who's always spreading happy joy, joy, joy. And you have to continue to have this mask on, even when you're falling into pieces inside. Oh, I gotta go outside. I gotta go get the paper. Between my front door and where the paper is lying, I gotta be this way because who knows who might be taking pictures. Imagine having this kind of an illness, but you're having to put up this face, this front, because you have this reputation of being the guy who makes everybody happy, who makes everybody laugh, who is the one that cheers up the whole room when he enters. Ooh, it's Robin Williams. We're all going to be happy. We're all going to laugh. He's going to say some funny things. He's going to make us smile. He's going to brighten up the entire room. Imagine having that on you. That kind of expectation everywhere you go. And you're suffering from severe depression on top of chemical dependency, addiction. Imagine trying to use those things to try to keep that front going. How exhausting that would be. He was a coward because he committed suicide. He was amazingly strong. He was a fighter because he lived to be 63 years old. And what kept him here? My guess is because he was loved. My guess is because he had a family who loved him. He had friends who loved him. And most of the time, I suspect he felt that and he knew that. But when you have depression, even in a crowded room, you can feel completely and utterly alone. You could be surrounded by people who love you, and when you're in the throes of depression, you might not feel loved at all. That's what the disease does. It chokes out everything good from entering in. It fills everything you see up with darkness. And there could be times when you feel unloved, completely worthless as a human being, and completely alone. How many times did Robin Williams have that feeling, feel like that? And how many times did he battle through it and not kill himself, but battle through it because somehow he knew deep down inside he had value. Somehow deep down inside he knew people loved him and he knew people cared. I call that courage. I call that tenacity. The fact that he was able to go on and continue to put out the quality, the movies, shine his talent in so many ways. Despite his illness, I call that amazing strength. Now the man has succumbed to his illness. If there is a God, to send somebody to hell to be tortured forever for swearing, for telling dirty jokes, for succumbing to an illness, which is all suicide is. It's somebody who just had one of those bad moments and unfortunately lost the fight that one time. And one time can be all it takes. A lot of people make it through that one time. They get saved, they get discovered, they get taken to the hospital. Nobody found Robin in time. And he died. His illness killed him. Any God worth a flicker of worship and praise would not send somebody to hell for being ill and succumbing to their illness, or for telling dirty jokes, or for swearing. What God would do this that's worth worshiping? What God that's loving and caring and compassionate would send anybody to hell at all? And that these Christians, I'm sorry, what cult creates people who have this kind of mentality, that actually walk around and call themselves good and righteous and pious and better than everybody else because, ooh, they have Jesus. I'm sorry, these are the most loathsome human beings. They call themselves Christians. As a Christian, I would despise Christians like this. As an atheist, all it makes me is even more contemptuous of this despicable cult that makes people like this. And maybe they're just assholes to begin with, but it gives them the excuse to be assholes and feel good about it, feel righteous, warriors for God, onward Christian soldiers. Yes, let's wish people are burning in hell for telling jokes that are dirty, or succumbing to an illness. Oh, I hate this religion. Cult, sorry. I hate this cult. I saw this article today on Facebook and I was livid. Never mind the fact that it's incredibly arrogant to think you know the mind of a God that created the whole universe. Oh, Robin Williams is in hell. Yeah, right, because your little book says so? Never mind that you would be so arrogant as to assume that you know this shit, that you know what a God would do, or how a God would judge somebody based on a book, but that you would be so fucking insensitive, inconsiderate of the people around you who are grieving, who would like to imagine that Robin Williams is free from pain that he has suffered for years. We would like to imagine that he is, whether he's dead and ceased to exist, or he's not dead and there's some kind of afterlife. Whatever the case, there are people all over the place right now trying to imagine that Robin Williams is out of pain, that his suffering is over. And Christians like this that want to say, oh, he's just burning and writhing in hell right now as we speak. Ooh, fuck you. The most loathsome excuse for a human being. People like this who think this way are despicable. And yet, what made them that way? Well, part of me thinks that they would be that way with or without the cult. But I honestly think that the cult makes them worse. Or that people that are kind of walking the borderline between, the cult warps them and makes them what this human trolls, monsters. I'm sorry, the personality that would do this, that would say things like this at a time when other people are hurting and trying to grieve and trying to feel, hunt for some solace, some kind of, okay, okay, but he's in a better place, or he's out of pain now, his struggle is over, his battle is over. They don't need this shit. They don't need people that come along and say shit like this. People that would do this, and the cult that would make people that would do this. I hate this cult. Every day I turn around and I find a new reason. I find a new reason to hate this cult and to see the harm that it does in our society every single day. And I would love to see it in my lifetime. The end of it. I would so love to know what the world would be like without it. And I know that won't happen, but oh my, I wish so much that I could know. Could I wake up one morning and not have to read the paper or see some fucking thing on Facebook or YouTube of the newest crap that this fucking cult is doing to people's lives, to our society, to our world. I get tired of it. I want to see it. I want to see a day when it's not there anymore. Anyway, this has turned out to be a rant, but I was so angry today when I saw that. To me, that's like the worst. And all these fucking Christian organizations that this guy's listed, I'm sure there's many more, unfucking real. I want to be in a place where these people are not. And if that is hell, I will be in good company with Robin. So anyway, I can go on and on. I'm really angry. If you've been watching, thanks. Bye.
I am absolutely convinced that the main source of hatred in the world is religion. And I think it should be religion treated with ridicule and hatred and contempt.